Hi, good morning, everybody, and a warm welcome from Textile Research. My name is Alvin, and I am part of the Textile Research Group. Uh, Today's webinar is basically based on modular data centers revolutionizing infrastructure for the digital age. Now, with a lot of IT being played around the whole world, every company requires some form of the other in terms of IT infrastructure, and therefore, data centers have become an integral part of our everyday life. As we move on to the forthcoming years, this is going to be more and more important, along with the environmental effect of the same. Let me first introduce what is Textile Research. We are a 14-year-old market research based management consulting firm. We delve into research, we understand consumers' mindset, what is happening in the whole world, what is going to happen in the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, how is the consumer mindset changing, what is happening, how does technology play a part in our everyday life. We create reports, we help clients to basically get into actionable form of work. Uh, I would not like to dwell too much into other things, and I would like to dive directly into the topic for today because I believe that is what everybody has been waiting for. So, let me introduce you to my in house expert, Archer. Achal is a dedicated research consultant at Textile Research, bringing a wealth of experience and analytical powers to the forefront of the research domain. She has been a very integral part of our team, which handles the ICT, power, energy, and infrastructure domains. And I'm sure, like Textile Research has been benefiting, we are going to benefit by her talks today and by her interactions with the panel of experts which we so have today. And Achal, please take it forward from here.
Thank you, Elvin, for such a warm welcome. Good morning, everyone. Today we will fetch the topic modular data centers with the infrastructure for the digital age. So, first of all, what is modular data center? Modular data center is a prefabricated, self-contained facility that integrates data center infrastructure components such as servers, storage, networking equipment, cooling systems, power distribution into a standardized module or container. These modules are designed to be deployed rapidly and can be easily scaled or relocated to meet changing IT requirements. As we know, in today's fast-paced digital world, modular data centers are changing how we build and manage data center infrastructure. These centers, which are prefabricated and standardized, offer a flexible and efficient alternative to traditional data centers, which have been challenging since so long. They are designed to be quickly assembled and scaled up or down based on needs, making them a game changer for managing data in this digital age. Few of the advantages that modular data centers allow are scalability and flexibility. They are cost efficient, the speed of deployment, and supporting edge computing. So, if we talk about the market size, global modular data center was approximately 25 to 36.96 USD million in 2023 and is approximately about to increase at a CAGR of 21.34%. We can see a huge CAGR is about to come in upcoming years for global modular data center. The approximate number which is about to reach at the forecast period is 78876.23 USD million. If we talk about regional part, North America, Europe, Asia Pacific, we can see that North America is the leading market with more than 30% in holding about more than 30% in comprising of United States, Canada, which is the home to some of the world's most advanced technological ecosystem. Moreover, governments and private enterprises across Asia Pacific are heavily investing in IT infrastructure to support economic growth and technological advancements. If we talk about North America, the market was around 9.2 billion in 2023, which is the current market, and the market is about to reach to more than 25 billion in 2029 with a huge CAGR of 20.67%. Most of the distributors are US, Canada, and Mexico in North America. And Canada's geographic location provides strategic advantages for data center operations. Its proximity to major US markets, combined with its own growing digital economy, makes it's an ideal location for modular data centers. Second is Europe Modular Data Center, in which is inclusive of Germany, then UK, then around other countries. And in 2023, the market was approximately 7.3 billion and is expected to grow at a CAGR of 21.85%, and is the market is expected to reach around 23.49 billion. Many European cities face space constraints for data centers, making traditional data center construction challenging. Modular data centers present a valuable solutions as they can be deployed in compact spaces, giving the cost efficiency, including urban environments. This features is particularly advantageous in highly populated regions like Western Europe, where real estate is at the premium stage. Third is Asia Pacific. Asia Pacific is currently as a growing stage in modular data center, and the market is approximately 5 billion and is expected to grow at a high CAGR of 23% and is expected to reach at 16.9 billion, which is approximately 17 billion. Governments across the Asia Pacific region like China, India, Japan, Indonesia, Malaysia, South Korea investing in digital infrastructure to support economic growth and enhance competitiveness. Initiatives like Digital India, Made in China 2025, Thailand 4.0 emphasizes the importance of digital transformation, which is driving the demand for modular data centers to support the digital ecosystem. Next is Middle East and Africa. We can see that Middle East and Africa is still at meager stage and holding around 1.9 billion in 2023 and is approximately growing at a CAGR of 19.96%, which is approximately reached around 5.8 USD billion in 2029. Governments in this region are investing heavily in infrastructure deployment, including telecommunication, data infrastructure. Countries such as Qatar, UAE, Saudi Arabia are constructing smart cities and investing in digital transformation projects, which is necessitating the establishment of robust data center infrastructure in Middle East region. Last region is South America, which is inclusive of Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Venezuela, Peru. These countries are coming under South America. The market was approximately 1.62 billion and it is expected to grow at a CAGR of 18.76% and expected to reach USD 4.4 billion. Environmental concerns are gaining prominence globally, and South America is no exception, of course. Modular data centers offers energy efficient designs and utilize renewable energy source, aligning with the region's growing emphasis on sustainability. Governments and corporations alike are increasingly coping for eco-friendly data solutions, thereby driving the market growth of modular data centers in the region. So coming towards competitive landscape, my colleague Anshika is there to take forward.
Hello everyone. Coming to the competition in the market. The key players in the market include Huawei, HP, Dell. These three collectively share 30% of the market. There is a high competition in the market by IT companies, specialized players, new entrants. The key players in the market are differentiating themselves by providing innovation, energy efficient products, customization, and the strategic expansion. As the growth in the market continues, competition will likely to drive the advancement in the modular data center technologies and the services, shaping the future of the data structure infrastructure. Now coming to the key drivers in the market, which are actually propelling the market growth and people are investing in this market. These include cloud migration and rise in hybrid environment, urbanization and smart city initiatives, digitalization initiatives, rise in demand for customization and modular solutions, growth in edge computing, security and compliances enhancement, shift towards energy efficiency and sustainability, AI driven automation, integration of IoT and smart city technologies. Next, these are commonly the few reports that TechSide have prepared related to these topics are content delivery network market and few which are listed below. Now over to you, Achal.
Thank you, Anshika, for such a nice analysis on competition and drivers. We are now coming to our speakers. I would like to introduce and welcome Mr. N.K. Singh, who is the, just want to give a small introduction of him. NK is the founder and CEO of Data Center Guru, a leader in the field of data center infrastructure with over around more than 30 years of extensive experience across various industry verticals and geographies. NK has mastered the art of consulting, designing, building, and managing data centers globally. He is renowned for his detail oriented approach, technical, and exceptional leadership skills, which have led him to successfully deliver impactful business results. So, NK, we would like you to share some experience on modular data center. NK, you are on mute.
So, good morning, all the audience and the panel. I would like to sincerely thank TechSide for giving this opportunity to share our knowledge and experience on this platform to larger audience who wants to know more about data center. Just coming to the topic of modular data center, just want to give you the Data Center Guru as well. So, in my 30 years of experience, I have spent around 27 years in data center industry, and I'm fortunate enough to work with all the sides of the table around data center or around data center ecosystem. Whether you talk of technology company, whether you talk of services organization, we talk of data center company, or even OEMs around data center and ICTs. And finally, I worked with a company who is global authority around data center. So the key thing was to share that experience to the industry so that industry can leverage our experience and knowledge in this and ride on that growth wave, whatever it is there. Another thing, initiatives which we have taken is globally, there is a huge scarce of data center skilled resources, and India is not apart from it. And there is a huge scarce means a lot of issues. So we are in the process of developing a skill development platform which provides industry ready resources instead of which doesn't need any orientation, any experience. You can directly put them on the job. So now, moving on the modular data center, as you know, data center is not something old. It is started in late 90s when the technology adaptation was happening with the different organization where ERPs and all those stuff were business processes were getting automated. And obviously at that time there was small data center built in a customized way. And in last 24, 25 years, this industry has grown a lot. And one of the maturity which comes up is the modularity of the data center, because you don't need to invest your time again and again on the same repetitive tasks. Okay. So first thing which came into the picture was the standardization in the design, followed by standardization in the manufacturing process. So there are set of things which got manufactured in the factory itself, and you bring them on the site and just assemble it. Modular data centers are more commercial and more efficient
So I believe we lost him in the mid.
Yeah, maybe there is a technical glitch from his end, I think.
Yeah.
Network
So
issue.
Indra, can I introduce you and you can take the thing forward?
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can start.
So our second esteemed speaker is Mr. Indra Kumar. He is a certified data center professional with having 14 years of experience in data center industry, headed teams involved in establishment of multiple data centers, which includes Uptime Institute certifications, both design and site certifications. So we would like to hear from you, Mr. Indra.
Yeah, thank you, Anchal, for the introduction, and thank you for TechSI for giving this opportunity to interact with the data center fertility team. It is always an upcoming trend. What we called about data center is on the top of the cake. I'll say ice on the top of cake. So as NK was mentioning, it started in early 90s. It's not a new technology, but again, uh, the domain what we are talking today is completely advancing. So now today's topic, let's talk about modular data centers. So what is exactly the modular data centers and what is the need of a modular data center? See, when we talk about data center growth in the Indian industry, as Anchal and you and Anshika has given the numbers in CAG at 20% and other things. So there is a rapid growth in data center industry, what we have been seen in India. So this again will increase the demand for data center establishment in not only in the major tier 1 cities and also in multiple tier 2 and tier 3 cities. See, basically edge computing is one of the major part of the modular data center. See, when we talk about modular data center, see, you need to be up ready for scalability and ready for expansion, and as the same time you should be ready with the new technologies. You need to ready with to adopt the technologies. That is the main important point what we need to foresee here in the modular thing. So when another important thing is you need to reduce the go live time of a data center establishment or expansion time. So if you go through any data center industry or a data center operator, they always talk about how they are maintaining the uptime. So that means how they are reducing the breakdown, how they are reducing their downtime and keeping things ready for their customers, for their applications. When we see data center, majorly three applications will come. One is storage area network, and second one is your network connectivity, and third one your servers. So all these three aspects should be readily available for the users which are accessing that particular data center, whether it is a DC or a disaster DR or some other, whether you call it as a hyperscaler captive data center or a normal colo data center or even an enterprise owned data center, captive data center. So all these data centers are based out on how they are maintaining their uptime and how they are keeping things ready for scalability and flexibility and being ready for the next mile or being ready for serving the next customer in a better with a better uptime. That is the main intention of bringing modular data center into the picture. And the name itself is a modular is nothing but you need to be small and spock, like what we say. You need to attack and you need to address the requirement in the given scenario. That is the main intention. So here when we talk about modular things, edge computing is the major thing which is uh, being part of modular data center, or which is famous in the modular data center industry. So when we say edge computing, it is basically edge computing is to address the needs of the customer near to the customer. I'll give a simple example for you people to understand, even for a layman can easily understand. So when we take the industry of e-commerce like Amazon, Flipkart, earlier when we used to order for a pen drive or a regular item, so it used to take a delivery lead time of 3 to 4 working days. Now it's not the case. Now, if you order in the morning, by end of the day you'll be able to receive. How they are addressing? Because what they'll have a detailed I'll say research and which area which item is being ordered regularly. Those items are being kept in the nearby warehouse area to meet the customer requirements and to increase the delivery lead time. Similarly, the edge computers are the computing stations or the data centers which are near to the customer to address the customer need on priority or in a short span of time. Again, I'll say without any data latency, basically, to address the hotspots in the data accessibility. That is the main intention or the main purpose of having edge computing in place. That is one major thing which is coming and here. And in that, how it is addressing sustainability aspect, how it is meeting the drastic power requirements, and how it is addressing those things we'll see uh, once we go through the I'll say the webinar. I think NK is back. I think we can discuss with NK sir.
So Indra, thanks
I'm
for your
extremely sorry.
and
Yeah, it's fine.
we lost you in a mid. No problem. I believe that was a technical issue from your side. You can
Yeah,
continue where you left. Yes.
yeah,
Yes, yes. So what I was talking about is the maturity on the data center front, where which started with the standardization in the design process, which was followed by standardization on the manufacturing process. Okay, and that gave rise to the modular data center, the name, which started with a small data center because earlier we used to build small data centers. So it started with the smaller components and put together. Then it becomes a aisle-based kind of system. And finally, at this stage, we are talking about full-fledged prefab data center, what Anchal was talking about, where there is a 20 feet or 40 feet container where everything from your racks to all the support systems is put in inside, and you buy a specific rating of the system, it get delivered, just assemble it and move ahead. Another aspect on the modular front, this is a very kind of already in practice, and the demand what Anchal was sharing about on this front is already there, and that would be further propelled by demand on edge data centers with adaptation of AIs and IoTs more and more. Now, coming back to, it is not limited to only the small data centers. Now, this modularity has gone to the larger data centers also. So, modularity is already there for from the system perspective in terms of you have got a separate DG, UPS, batteries, cooling, so on and so forth. You integrate together. However, the another aspect which was not modular, like which is replaced by container in larger data center, which is built still on a brick and mortar, and in couple of places where the requirements are not multi-story, they are growing horizontally on the data center. They are on the prefab form. So they are getting prefab modular sheds, and they just put it on the side, tighten it, and then they put all the systems into it. The key purpose or advantage of doing this, apart from the efficiency, and other thing is to build a large data centers. Typically, it needs around 2 years life cycle from design and build cycle. And as you know, the demand of the data centers are very high. So people wants to cut down that implementation cycle, whatever it can be. And one way of cutting that is through the modularity or prefab kind of constructions. Okay, so that's how for horizontal kind of stuff still you can see being followed, but in our region we are not growing horizontally as far as the data center is concerned. So we are growing vertically, so one building has multi-story, and then in the multi-story infrastructure we occupy one by one or 2 floors by 2 floors like that. So we scale accordingly based on the requirement. So there we still follow brick and mortar kind of construction. However, there are a lot of uh, practice or research going on. How can we use steel structure to avoid such kind of thing? Because if we use steel, then lot of those timelines of constructing through the brick and mortar and the steel, there are a lot of time reduction and the even cost reductions too. So there are certain challenges in using that, but I'm sure we'll couple of years, those challenges will be there, and we'll be more and more advanced towards the modularity of the entire data center place. Thank
So,
you.
NK, this was really beneficial from your side to throwing some light on modular data centers. You have just said about the challenges of modular data center also. So, what do you believe? Is there any challenge in integrating data center, modular data center with edge computing and AI in this era?
There is no challenges as per se from the data center. Challenges is typically today the 70% of the demand of the data centers are from the hyperscale side. That is a large in scale. So still the modular data center requirements are not more aligned to the large data centers, at least on the building construction aspect of it. Otherwise, other aspects of standardization in terms of design, in terms of different components and systems and subsystems, those level detailings are there, that we are still struggling on the core and shell of the building, which is still we are not able to do only because we are growing in a multi-story building, not on a horizontal. Uh, when we adapt the data center, the challenge why we are not growing so fast, because the edge data center has not yet taken up much, because now data center industry has been, or data center per se has been divided into three categories. It is becoming a distributed kind of architecture where you will have a centralized data center, then you will have a regional data center, and then you will have edge data centers. So that level of compute and storage requirements, apart from OTTs and video streaming and social media, we have not seen much of adaptation on IoT's front or AI front. So that is the reason we are not able to see that level of demand in the edge data centers. But I am confident AI has already been now being adapted. We see a couple of players announced the AI data center separately. So adaptation of those things will going to go. And there are already some announcement which has come where regional data centers are being put in type A and type B class cities. So next step is putting the edge data center in all those cities together.
Okay. So, one more thing I wanted to ask. If we talk about specifically India, what do you think is a major industry which is using the modular data centers and which is more adapting to this?
So currently, the modular data centers were more adapted by the enterprises, the banks, branches, the industries or factories, and earlier medium enterprises. I will not say small enterprises, but after COVID, there has been a lot of migration back to the co-location. So all those medium and small enterprises, we were having smaller server rooms, those kind of things. They have migrated back to the co-location space. However, the banks still, because their requirements are such that they have to have multiple branches. So a small set of data centers are, I will not say data center, but uh, communication points, which is there all across.
Server
But
rooms rather.
yeah, yes, server rooms are there. So modular data centers are server room only basically. But a real thing will come when this edge data center age, where telco will also adapt those modular data centers, because the 5G is not no more, even 4G is no more on analog switching. So entire switching has shifted to the digital switching or IP switching. So everything is on our server. So wherever they see on the 5G deployments, now you will be seeing the small edge data centers all across. And one of the key role of 5G is the real reliability of bandwidth is very, very required to really follow the automation path. Because currently we follow a process of human to machine communication, where you instruct through communication media on certain machine to work. But when we talk about adaptation of AI, in that case, it is machine to machine communication. So machine takes the decision and communicate other machines to act. In that case, if the network reliability is not so set, and even his performance are not so set, then there can be disastrous kind of scenario. So obviously, these are the things which will go with the time. And I see the big demand which is coming for edge data center in next 2 to 3 years. After that, that will really boost this entire demand of edge data center where modularity meaning they will understand. Because when you want to deploy thousands of sites at the same time, then you can't be able to build the separate buildings and brick and mortar. You need to decide what is the capacity of those edge data center needs to be deployed at different locations, and you just need order and it gets deployed on the site. But it cannot support in other way of a delivery model apart from modular data centers.
Okay. So Indra, you would like to add something on the same?
Yeah, yes. Thanks, NK, for throwing light on this thing. Here, over in addition to NK, what I can say, already the trend has started for edge computing or edge data centers. Now, government of India has taken an initiative for establishing 1,000 such edge data centers, which are going to be a modular container-based data centers, which is less than 1 megawatt capacity across 1,000 locations, basically targeting tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and one apart from banking sector, one more industry which is going to adopt this is telecom industry, what NK has also mentioned, where the 5G, which is really a need of the hour for India. If you see the data consumption trend, what was there 5 years back and what is today, if we going forward, what it should be or what it would be, in that case we need terrifically the 5G speed to meet that 5G speed requirements and data accessibility requirements. Yes, we need more and more edge data centers coming in cities like tier 2 and tier 3 cities in India. Yeah, that's it from my side. And one more thing, as for large colo data centers also, on the modular concept, as NK sir mentioned that containerized data center is one solution apart from brick and mortar, and some data center operators in India are also adopting one technology called skid solutions. So whereas the whole shell will be made of brick and mortar, and they'll keep a whole open wall opening such that the floor wise development, also floor wise expansion, can be taken care by that particular skid solution, and that skid will be manufactured at the manufacturing industry, whereas without interrupting the existing data center or existing brick and mortar building, let's say, without any impact on the thing, just they'll bring it and dump to that floor and shift it to the floor and make it alive. So that way, that modularity concept of skid solution is also going to be the future trend, which is going to help on the vertical trend, or rather than the horizontal expansion of the data center. For the vertical expansion of the data centers, yes, this is going to be the best solution what future people are already adapted, and future definitely they will adopt in India, and in global already it is started, for even from the right from the electrical equipment, not only for electrical, even for the cooling and other equipment. It's just like a uh, I'll say replacing a battery cell. Simply it is as simple as that. They will add it. That's what from my side.
So currently, any country like US is very advanced. So the skid solution trend is are they adapted or it is about to come in these advanced countries?
Yes, India, not only US, Australia, and Singapore, they are already adapted. Skid now currently people are talking. There are some customers like I'll say Edge Connects, Digital Reality, and some other customers, global customers. Now in Australia, even some customers have already adopted these skid-based solutions on the power concept, not on the cooling part. Yes, on the power side we have already people, we have seen the technologies where skid has been adopted, and in India also, I don't want to take the names because many people are there from industry. Two of our customers in India also adopted skid solution for their data center establishments in India. Both are in, luckily both are in the southern part of the country. Very soon this is, and even northern part also started, third side is also going to come. NK sir is aware, he's that's why he is, so it is going to be definitely the next trend in modular data center skid solution as well as containerized data center solutions.
So of course, if you're saying southern, that means Chennai, Hyderabad, or Bangalore. That's obvious.
It's fine.
Yeah. So, like we are saying country wise, so as per me, North America, Asia Pacific, and Europe are still ahead of Middle East, Africa, and South America. So, what can be the reason? Is there any geopolitical risk involved in the same, or these regions are quite below in comparison to the major regions? What is the ratio behind that? What is the why there is so much challenge in adapting the technology in these regions? So, Indra, you would like to take this forward?
Yeah, here you are correctly said. Maybe geographically they have that impact, and Northern America is always the advanced technology, as a technocrat across the globe, and European countries. You see, uh, the weather is basically supporting as well as the technology adoption is always an advantage for the thing. But nevertheless, India will be the next hub, data center hub for not only Asia region, slowly even for maybe may not be above over and above North America, but definitely India will be the next alternative for Northern America. But now is already it is clear that even India is going to be the next data center hub in Asia region. Even apart from Singapore has already saturated, where the government of Singapore has already, they have given some strict statutory regulations for establishing new data centers and having the better connectivity through OFC cables, three undersea cables. I think around 26 cables are already there in place for India, and I think another 16 or 20 are in progress to give the connectivity from the both east side and west side, as well as I think there is a connectivity is being established in Calcutta region for connecting SAARC countries. So this will enable India definitely one more data center hub. But definitely your statement is correct because of their geographical advancement, as well as the main corporate giants headquarters are there in European countries as well as Northern American part. So that is one reason which is fetching there. But nevertheless, India will definitely will be better competition for both those countries. NK sir, over to you if you want to add something.
Yes, I would like to add the purpose. If you talk about globally, around 40% of the data center lies in US, and the reason for that is they were earlier in the race. So
Yeah, yeah.
obviously, as far as the technology adaptations are concerned, they were very early and they adapted it. And as far as India is concerned, we are huge consumer of data, and specifically after 2016, after Geo 4G launch, the data consumption trend has gone like crazy. Okay, and also after the digital transformation journey or digital transformation initiatives, which was initiated by the government, and there are a couple of initiatives which is so successful that the amount of data consumptions which is required in India itself, meeting that demand itself is a big job. Second part is uh, earlier we didn't have a data protection policy. Okay, we had a policy around the financial data, So it has to be there in our country. So long back, financial data were protected, but there was no personal data protection law, which initially, I think last year or this year only, it was
Data protection and
passed
privacy
out.
bill. Data
Yes.
protection and privacy
So
bill given
that
by.
privacy bill, we talked about sensitive critical data has to be there in the country. Only non-critical personal data they can host somewhere. Earlier, they were also planning to host in India itself, but the kind of demand which we are going through and meeting those demand is also a major challenge. So that non-critical data was kept it open that they can have that data somewhere else, but all the critical and sensitive data has to be there in the country. So that has actually propelled the demand, and that is the reason if you see around 3 4 years back, 3 years back, I would put it, we were at 300 megawatt capacity. We are touching 1000 megawatt. In another 5 years, we are touching 3000 4000 megawatt capacity. So that is the scale on which we are growing, and this is explicitly our demand. Now, data is typically very critical for every country, and that is the reason most of the country has got data sovereignty law also, and they would like to have the data in their own country, okay, apart from some non-critical data and all. So there is no much of uh, play on the critical data front where any other country will host in our country, but there is a big play on the non-critical data, which is the volume is big. So that can be used because Singapore was the data center hub earlier. There is no space, no power. So there is nothing, though. So India is another destination where the people can come and host those kind of requirements. So it is going to be a kind of a multi-tier demands. So the large data centers demand will continue growing. At the same time, the regional data centers demands are already started coming up, and then that will be followed by the edge data centers. So it is a multiple demand which we are going to witness in coming years.
Yeah, thanks, NK. One more point I just missed to add. Here, if you see the data center population versus US versus India, I heard some from the data center leaders that in America, in US, let's say in North America, both American states in US, per million population, there is, I'll say, um, 50 megawatt data center is there for 1 million population, whereas in India it is still zero point 0.5 megawatt. So that much fold, I'll say multi-fold
Yes.
data center growth is expected from the data center industry. If you see the Indian statistics as on today, we are close to 1 gigawatt capacity right now, and going forward maybe down the line by 2030 will be near to 5 gigawatt. It's almost 5 times the what is being expected today. It's going to be definitely multifold growth is expected much more than this, because as NK currently mentioned, the introduction of Geo has made the consumption of internet or the accessibility of internet made easy. Earlier we used to be, which was even, I'll say, thanks to COVID, because it made things possible virtual, which were never thought of, in fact, because it might be differently looking differently, but it is the hard fact, because earlier we never thought something can be happen virtually, which is being happened today, is really because of the virtualization and the digitalization. So it is all adding to, again it is all adding to cause the huge requirement which is forecasting for the data center growth. That's it from my side.
Right.
So
Yes.
one
So
thing I
have you
wanted to
ever thought of the beggar would be carrying a QR code, or sabji wala is
Yeah,
having a
that's
QR
it.
code?
The
Yeah, it is
vegetable
all.
shop, fruit shop, we are carrying the, yes, QR code. And so COVID became
So
beneficial for this environment, digital environment, actually.
absolutely, absolutely. That has a real turn on UPI adaptation. So which is one of the best technology in the world. Nobody
Right.
has got such kind of inroads and penetration.
I still remember the German embassy people going on the street and buying fruits from the
Yes,
fruit
yes.
vendors. These reels were
Yes.
viral all over the internet.
Yeah, this made India to be what we say, to be the leaders in the digitalization across the globe.
Yeah, that made us
Definitely.
proud. So we are
Yes,
not
that makes us
only the
proud. Yes,
technology leaders, we are data center leaders, and we are consumers also. So consumer is the power.
Yes.
obviously.
So one more thing I like to ask, in the current Indian scenario, all the technologies like all the components of the data modular data centers, are we importing them or are we building here, or where is that component wise coming in India to
More than
develop the?
90% in India. Yeah, so more than 90%, I would say. Or I would more put more numbers also. It is not 90% and more are manufactured in India.
Okay.
Import component, you accept your ICT layer where semiconductors and other things which we import as of now. But when you talk about the building layer, there more than 95%, I would put it a number, has got everything inside in India.
So
So
it has
entire
been
manufacturing, yes, yes. So you talk about any component, whether DG, captive component, or cooling, UPS, uh, any other, the building management systems to all automation layers. All these OEMs has got their factory here in India, and that is the reason we are turnaround time they can be able to meet. There are certain components of that product may be imported, but each and every product are being manufactured in India. Yeah, you can comment or endorse me, Indra, if it is correct.
Yeah, you're correct, NK. See, going forward, see what exactly NK sir point. I'll tell you. Uh, since we have majority hold on being manufactured in India, we have the edge over any other country. I'll say that's where we are going to be the best competition for the countries. What you mentioned in the beginning. And even, and not only that, we are the best technocrats to understand what technology requires, or technology requirements, and how customers need and what they need, how we can meet there, and how we can address those requirements. So in that point, yes, we are much more matured compared to any other things, so that made us to be there on the top.
Okay.
And another part is also very, very important part is the finances. The
Yeah,
build of data center in India, half the cost of other countries. Okay, we build in
yes,
around $3 million,
yeah,
and if you go and build in US, Europe, and other countries, it costs around $6 million per megawatt.
yeah, per megawatt. You are absolutely right, sir. Not only the availability of land at a cheaper price, and availability of power and skill resources
I'm
at a
talking
better
about build part only. Land part
build
I'm not
power.
including. So build
Yeah,
part, build cost, because land price varies from different to different places.
and power
Build cost itself is a major component.
yeah, I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you, NK sir. And even power also, power per unit cost is also very better pricing compared to any other country. That is the advantage what we are having currently.
Yeah, always telco pricing is like peanuts.
yes.
So that is the reason people consume data like crazy.
Yeah. So if we talk about Asia Pacific, we are forgetting China. So where is China and India here? If we compare both of them.
As far as the data center footprint is concerned, China is still having larger footprint, more square feet area or build capacity in China. We are, I don't know the exact percentage or the numbers, but certain numbers I saw one of the pie chart. So China is still leading on the overall footprint on the data center.
Okay. So if we say about the privacy part, like data centers of course face challenge in terms of cyber security, privacy. So what do you feel that modular data center also feel challenge in privacy, cyber security, in infrastructure critical applications? What do you believe?
See, security part is something which is always prone to. So there are two level of security. One is we talk about the physical security, which is more about the access to the facility physically. So this is been covered by multi-layer. We call it tiered. So there are multiple layers people has to go through to enter to the facility. So around people follow 5 tier facility, 7 tier facility based on the size and the complexity of it. When you talk about modular data centers, so obviously it cannot be a 7 tier because a small data center may be containerized. So there can be a campus and there can be another layer of fast too. So 3 to 4 tier security, which is there for modular data center, that you can be able to control. But more importantly, for modular data center or any data center is another layer, which is information security. So information security is obviously there has been a lot of technology being keep on updating. Secondly, there are a lot of compliances from the security perspective, and it requires people to be always on the toes. You have to keep on reinventing the wheels and finding out gaps and plugging in on a continuous basis. It is not like fill it and forget it. So it is
Okay.
like keep on filling it and keep on watching it that everything is well and good. And it doesn't have anything to do with modular data center or the large data center. If we have got set of the different tier of information security hardware and software in place, so that can protect, and then the required level of compliances which you are following on the side.
So Indra, you would like to add something?
Yeah, it's, I think NK has covered everything. Uh, on security part, yes, there we were really having some certain protocols which we are really following very good. So I think NK has covered on this. I think nothing more than that.
Also, the government initiatives that you mentioned, that would also help in the security issues that currently we are facing.
Yeah, that's
So if we say about the company part, suppose any company is there. So what do you believe why companies should adapt the modular data centers as it is a new technology, and what benefits they are getting from it, and how is the economic system of the company is changing because of adoption of modular data center? Indra, you would like to answer first?
yeah. First, I'll answer. See, basically, when we start designing a data center, you should consider your next 10 years or at least 10 to 15 years over the period how you need to what will be your company prospects during the next 10 years, and considering those aspects, and we need to design and even to design the load and other aspects. That was the conventional era, conventional data center era. But considering the modular data center into consideration, so where we need to think of what we are today, or at least for next couple of years, rather that you can keep the scope of expansion, scope for modularity, such that as and when it is just a plug and play, when the requirement comes, you need to just add your module to meet your requirements. See, that way you need not to invest your entire capex investments, and at the same time, the data center efficiency, the PUE part. I don't want to go inside depth of that PUE, but I'll just put one statement. See, the efficient, the more you load the data center, it will be more efficient. It doesn't mean that you are keep designed for some 10 100 megawatt and you are loading for 10 megawatt. Doesn't make sense for anybody having that. I'll say um, that is a waste of money and keeping things idealistic, and you're wasting your capex investments. So that way you can always reserve your funds for your other investments, and you can always think on the front of modularity to on need basis, especially on need basis. When there is a need, you just insolute or you just add. That is the beauty of the modularity, and which will enable you for thinking of your expansion day to day. Let us say, as on today, we what exactly we need, that itself we can plan, or next max to max next couple of years. That's from my side. NK, over to you. I think you can.
Yeah, thank you. So as far as as I explained in the beginning, the modularity part is something which is directly linked with the scalability of your data center. Okay, so you don't want to invest everything at day one. So is minimum investment you do based on the demand what you get is the key balance between the investment and the scalability of the data center. Another aspect or another advantage of modularity is standardization. So even let us talk about a large data center, and they want to deploy a large data center in a scaled manner. So obviously, if they have a clarity, standardize the entire process, so they prepare a scalable design in a modular way, and based on that, they can have a complete supply chain arrangement at the back end. And age on when you want, you need to just trigger the supplies. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel again and again. And there has already been, if you talk about data center operators, a lot of operators are already efficiently built in all those features into it. Another advantage on a modular data center is large scale deployment. As I was talking about, when edge data center demands come, where you are supposed to just remember in early 2000, where telco were deploying thousands of towers at different location across India. So उनका target हुआ करता था that in 1 month you deploy 1 lakh, 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs. If such kind of demand is coming, how will you cope up? You cannot cope up with the normal process of demand. So best way is standardization and the modularity of the entire thing. So you order what you wanted in a multiple way, and it gets directly delivered on the site. You just fit it and done. So
One
it
more
has
scenario.
got huge, yes.
One more scenario I'm asking: if some enterprises is using co-location data center, so will
Mhm.
shift towards the modular one, or is it beneficial to stay on the co-location one?
So there would be a co-location data center operators who would be serving in the edge data center field. So currently they have got larger data centers. So they will have smaller data center also managing all across. There may be a data center operator who would be playing only in the edge field. There would be player who would be playing in both the fields, and there would be player who would be playing only in the large data center area.
So NK, if we talk
It's
about the
absolutely depend on their, yes, please.
yeah, you continue.
So it purely depends on the organization business interest or how viable for them which particular data center segment they address. So accordingly, they can select the business line.
Okay. So if we talk about the supply chain, what do you believe that how much should the collaboration between modular data center manufacturers, government agencies, research institutions, and the one who are adapting the modular data center, that means the end users? What do you believe?
Yes, I think there has already been in your chart. You saw HP, Dell, and Huawei, three
Yes.
companies in
Hmm.
the modular data centers. You did not show other companies like Schneider, Vertiv, Delta. There are other around 10 companies, Compass,
Hmm.
who are into modular data centers. Okay, who
Right.
build containers and everything all put together and supply. Okay, in India, I don't think HP is selling any modular data center in India. Similar way, Dell or Huawei is anyway not being accepted. So in India, Huawei data centers or those products are not being done. So that particular OEMs, what you saw on the graph, are not applicable in India. So those
Okay.
OEMs are different, which is this part of the world. Any specific question you asked? I just forgot.
No. Actually, that what we have showed is it's for global, and we understand that like
Yes.
Schneider, IBM, Vertiv, Dell, these are the major players. Who, apart from this, Huawei is there, Hewlett Packard is there. So these are the major companies who run modular data center globally
Yeah,
at the global level. Yes.
you are right,
Yes.
but I support NK because in Indian market, if you ask me, currently Vatiu and even Schneider is having major stake in Delta, and Rital are in the second place, and Dell, yes, they are uh, associated with Vatiu and Dell. Vatiu, they are coming one Dell EMC Square kind of a thing. They are jointly the passive part of the data center or the modular data center part will be taken care by Vatiu, and the active component it will be given by Dell. So they club together and they are jointly ventured together, and they are participating and they are supplying inside in India. And Rital, yes, Rital is also doing like the same way with IBM. That was the major trend what it is going in India, and now going forward even you'll see the same trend from Delta also, and even Eaton is also trying to get into picture, but rest all. But Hawaii is what NK mentioned is rightly correct. It is not very much. It is not allowed in India because of geographical limitations. So they are much more familiar in the Middle East and in the African market.
Okay.
Middle East, Africa, and even if you go to Sri Lanka, you'll find Huawei. In Nepal, you'll find Huawei.
Right.
Bangladesh, you'll find Huawei.
Apart from
So,
Indian territory.
yes.
Right.
So India, they were there. Telco has got a lot of Huawei hardware, but one by one that is being
Replaced.
replaced due to the security reasons and all.
Right. So I believe our esteemed audience is also waiting for us to answer their questions also. There are lots of questions the our audience have asked. Some of them I think we have answered and some of them we have not. So one by one I'm just questioning that. First is what are the key factors a research based company should consider when implementing modular data center to support data heavy operations and research workflows. So NK, you would like to take this forward?
Can you repeat that question again?
Yeah. What are the key factors a research based company should consider when implementing modular data centers to support heavy data operations and research workflows?
So you were talking about high performance compute, right?
Yes.
So
HPC,
typically the
HPC,
research
HPC
institutions they
requirement.
use HPCs. So HPCs are normally high density because in a small space you are able to compute high volume of data. So obviously the power density we call it of the rack increases drastically. It starts from 40, 50 kilowatt per rack to even 200 kilowatt per racks. In India, we have been seeing racks till around 80 kilowatt or 100 kilowatt, not beyond, maybe in future. So for research organization, obviously, when your power densities go drastically up, the technology of cooling required for your data center changes. So you have to use liquid-based cooling. It may be a direct chip cooling or it may be immersion cooling as a requirement. And for that, it is not only the existing or external facility aspect of it which requires a liquid cooling kind of infrastructure. Your IT hardware also has to be compatible with liquid cooling kind of requirements. Okay. So based on that, when while creating the design specification for the data center, they should keep in mind that those cooling requirements based on what kilowatt per rack density they define are adequate to cool the data centers. So that's is the basic thing from the high HPC front. I can say other parameters are more or less the same, which they have to take care of.
Okay. So Indra, you would like to add?
Yeah, I think NK has covered it. But one point, I think adding to NK is that liquid cooling and chip level cooling is one part, and we can also think of rare heat exchangers (RHE) doors, which will enable. See, basically, it is all about how you cool, because when it is a HPC, high performance computing, the density of the rack. Earlier in Indian, say a decade back, we used to design the data center load to be 5 kilowatt per rack. Now it is not the case. The standard rack design itself is gone to 15 kilowatt in a normal data center. But whereas in HPC requirement, the HPC rack design starts from 50 kilowatt to 100 kilowatt. So again, to meet that high performance or high demand in a small footprint, you need to have more rapid cooling technologies, either even the hardware level cooling from the chip level cooling, or the liquid immersion cooling, and also will take the help of rare heat exchangers. That's it. The major thing is cooling part only. Remaining thing remains same.
Right.
So rear door heat exchanger has got certain limitation on the power density. It cannot kill 100 kilowatt per rack. Even
100
50, 60 kilowatt itself is very
up to 50.
difficult to cool.
Yeah. No,
So
adding with that, sir. Adding with that, not only
yes.
depending only on not only depending on rare earth exchanges. Apart from that, like we mentioned, our chip level cooling, we can combine chip level cooling as well as RHE, rare heat exchangers, both together.
Right. I
So
think
what is the objective of the research? I didn't get, but the inputs, whatever is more related or relevant to HPC, those inputs we have given. Hope this is okay.
yeah, yeah, that's totally fine. I think the one who has asked this question get the suitable answer of the same. So, second question I want to ask you, Indra. Second is, how are modular data centers addressing energy efficiency and sustainability concerns? I believe renewable is a main part of modular data center, like solar panels and upcoming renewables like wind, geothermal. So, can you throw some light on the same?
Yes, when we talk about the sustainability aspects, now everything is on go green. So now when we talk about sustainability into consideration, now more eco-friendly solutions are available. Like earlier, you need not to waste much more on chiller or everything. Now we have some eco-friendly solutions where are the using of refrigerants which are more eco-friendly, like I'll say R400 series, R500 series has also been adopted in countries like advanced countries like US, but still we are using R400 series where it is solution. And apart from this, government is also supporting sustainability aspects. I'll say two things on this thing. I know some states, they started incentivizing who are using the renewable power. See, if any data center operator using more than 30% of the renewable power for his total requirement, they are going to charge them with a commercial rate, or they are going to the power slab rates will going to be change, and they are going to incentivize. That is one thing. And coming back to other part of the thing, the OEMs also adopting circular economy concepts, like I'll say, electrical power OEMs, they are adopting circularity. I'll say, when we supply certain equipment to the data centers, they'll not only supply just like that, they'll consider that it has to be recycled, and they will source it from a source that 65% nowadays, 60 to 65% of the materials which are used to manufacture such an switchgear are recyclable. That is why. And after that, after EOL, end of the life of the equipment, that particular OEM will also take the ownership of collecting back from the site, and they will recycle it and they will reuse. So that circularity concept is in place now. So most of the OEMs are getting adapted to that. So that is one good news which is really causing it. And on the cooling front, yes, there are much more technologies which are being adopting the sustainability aspects, like free air cooling. um, I know some certain data centers, especially on the winter time and even during the night time, they all using the natural air cooling, wherein they'll use the natural air to cool their data centers. Because earlier, when we talk about data centers, at least a decade back, the average temperature of the data center to be somewhere 16 degrees to 18 degrees centigrade. But now the hardware and the IT equipment, everything has been advanced. They are able to sustain even at a temperature of 28 to 30 degrees. So it gave a revolutionary change in adopting. No need of having that much cooling and wasting power, because when data center is a power drizzler, most of the power will go uh, IT equipment, and after that the second largest consumer in the data center industry is cooling requirement, precision air conditioning requirements. So to meet that, the enough research has been done, and now the advanced hardware which is coming up is able to take care of 28 to 30 degrees without any shutdown, and they'll able to operate very comfortably. So that is again calling for better sustainability aspects. So that's it from my side. And sir, what do you, if anything, to add?
Yeah, from data center perspective on efficiency and sustainability, energy and industry is already working towards that. There are government regulations also, which data center player has to comply with. So that is one thing is in place. Another aspect is the data centers are power guzzlers. So obviously, the kind of renewable energy we are setting up and the kind of demand which is coming, so we are coping up with the demand in hybrid way, whether thermal, hydro, and solar and wind all put together. The major challenge, because if you talk about the overall power generation and the scope, future scope also for the growth, the more growth potential are there in the solar front, solar power aspect of it. But it has got the challenge of storage. In the night, that power is absolutely not available. However, the data centers are all 24 by 7 operational. So how do you manage it? Because on the grid, it's also you can see a major supply and demand gap if that exists. So there is a big demand for the energy storage systems and bulk energy storage system. So which is commercially viable, because earlier the source was only battery. You use the battery for storage, but battery is economically not viable for such level of capacity of storage as well as for longer time. Because if you want to have overnight storage, then obviously we need to have that kind of the bulk battery. You can't. There has been some research and there has already been some work done which is under testing, which is you can have a gigawatt level of power storage for months together. So, and without any battery. So that technology works on 70% efficiency and works on a compressed air technology. So you are using the environmental air and water to run the entire show. That has not been 100% matured technology, but now is being tested at couple of the sites, and I am confident once that maturity comes in an year or half or two, it will be a real game changer also in the energy sector.
Right. Totally agreed to this point, NK, that modular data center is not only helpful for the ICT sector, it is evolving in the energy sector too. As India is moving towards solar, right now it is focused on coal, thermal, but yes, the government is focusing policies towards solar, especially apart from other renewables like wind, hydro. So, of course, in the future, it will play a great role in energy sector too. So I should move to another question. NK, I want you to answer that. What is the importance of modular data center in any company which is handling healthcare, chemical, and pharmaceuticals?
See, when you talk about healthcare or industrial applications, so most of the places, the kind of data you need. Let us say somebody is doing in operation theater, some live doctors are available. So any latency and other things are problematic, because when healthcare or hospital started, they started with HIS system, which is ERP for healthcare information systems. But now there has been lot of automation there also, which has happened, and there has been lot of technology evolution where you talk about robotic surgery, and there are huge amount of uh, uh, technology enhancement which has happened in the medical science. So typically, even in the hospital, they used to have their own data center that may not be so big. That can be a modular data center, may not be prefab, but modular data center in the same integrated in the same building to cope up that requirement. Similarly, when we talk about factory or in the industries, the kind of now most of the industries are getting into smart factories or smart industry, and they are using IoTs. Even if they are not using IoTs, but huge amount of data points are connected together, and that volume of data they would not be interested to take back to a centralized data center and do that processing. So they always have a data center in the factory itself, which can be a modular, because industrial environments are different than other environments what you take care of. So they can, instead of building a big building for a data center separately, they can have this modular data center in any part of the factory and run the show. They can go by putting those additional module one by one and cope up the demand, whatever comes way that way. So
Okay.
modular data center, if you talk about the demand factors, majorly are edge data centers. So when it comes up, then industries and the factories, they are going to get edge data modular data center only. And the third one is the telcos. So they are the major contributor on the demand.
Okay. So Indra, you would like to add on something?
I think no, NK has covered it properly.
Okay.
And
So
up to
I
some extent, banking also. Banking also.
banking sector, yes, banking sector. So, Indra, I would like to ask another question, which is from our audience. What innovations in cooling technology are most effective for modular data center in India's tropical and semi-arid regions?
Yes, I'll answer this. See here, if you see various geographical conditions in India, so going forward, rather than a conventional liquid-based chiller system, modular data centers are always inevitable for advanced technologies like I'll say DX direct heat exchange systems with with the base of a refrigerant, because on need basis, because you need not to run a big elephant for a cooling for some small system. So that is one advantage what we are going to have. See, based on the load, see, let us say if the entire load, just giving a simple example. Let us say if the load is around 20 megawatt and the cooling requirement for the 20 megawatt, let us say you need around 10 TR. 10 TR can be achieved using 4 missions. In that scenario, you need not, based on your load, in day one, on day one, you need not to run all your machines. You can do, let us say, you can do with the one or two machines which can survive, which can cool your IT equipment load. So that means you're, as per your demand, you are putting your cooling equipment load. That means you are reducing the power requirement and reducing the heat, because as even NK also mentioned, data centers are just powered restless. So in that sense, you're having much more benefit in DX based system. And second, advanced cooling, what we're talking about, liquid immersion cooling. And liquid immersion cooling is another advantage, because they achieve I'll say ambient I'll say um, the dew temperatures and other things will easily get the servers cool. And based on, especially on the modular thing, when it is the rack itself, the servers itself is submerged in the liquid, not in the water, but it is in liquid which will take care of the cooling point. So that those things on need basis only, you need not to uh, you need to switch on those things. So those two techniques, and even as I mentioned, RHE, rare heat exchangers, these three. And another important is chip level cooling. again chip level cooling, especially for HPC requirements, high performance computing requirements, chip level cooling, because GPUs replacing CPUs will definitely need high performance computing requirements, and that can be cooled only on the chip level cooling, because the IGBT itself, the heat sink itself, will be cooled with a liquid cooling, or else say the coolant will flow beneath the chip to cool that chip, or else say whatever it is being, the process is being taken under the chip. So that again one more advanced technology is people are adopting, like that will definitely contribute to a better energy efficient system for a modular data center.
Okay, sir. So
Yeah,
one
here
more
I just want to add that there has been a lot of cooling technology evolution has come since then the data center was conceptualized. We are using comfort cooling for data center, then came precision cooling, then air cooling with different kind of containment which has happened. Then we are progressed to a rear door heat exchanger, and now we are talking about liquid-based cooling, where direct to chip or immersion kind of cooling. So obviously, based on the technologically adaptation which is happening and what kind of technology in specific data centers are being used, based on that, you have to select the kind of cooling which is available. So obviously, there are different set of options available to you in the cooling, and what you will select is specifically based on the requirements.
So, okay, so one more question I would like to ask: if there is a new market player who needs to enter in the market, so in the value chain aspect, which are the most important thing that he should or the company should focus on, or which is most impactful for him, or it will be a barrier for the a new entry?
Uh, NK, you are on mute. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, please. Please, can you repeat that question again, please?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
battery got discharged.
No.
Yes.
So I was asking if there is a new entry of a player, and if we want
Hmm.
the new entry of a player, and if we want to enter the market, what are the challenges that he is facing, or what are the value
Which
chain
player?
aspects that any
So,
new entry player?
which player? He is a data center operator or
No, no, no.
data
Like
center
any player,
supplier, modular
player
data center service
who
provider?
is currently having data center, he's a data center player, and he wants to
Hmm.
enter in a modular data center. So, what are the parameters the company should consider while entering in this market?
So he wants to sell the data center solutions to the operator, or he is the real data center operator itself.
He
The
wants to
company
sell.
what is considering,
Wants to sell.
they are suppliers
Yes,
of data center solutions.
yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Okay. So suppliers of data center solutions, majorly they should look at the demand factor and which kind of, as I said, data center has got different segments. You have got large scale data center, you have got medium, and you have got small scale data centers also, like converted to middle modular data center. So if you talk about modular data center kind of a company who wants to grow their business in this, so they should focus more around track on the edge front and deeper engagement with the telcos and the BFSI sector.
Okay.
And also there are a lot of data centers which is being asked by the government also to put those data centers at remote locations for the security purpose and all. So those kind of demands are also there. So they need to track those kind of stuff from the market perspective, from technology perspective. So all technologies are available. It is more to understand what the customer demands or requirements are. Based on that, they have to align their solutions accordingly.
So, and one more question: if a company wants to integrate to modular data center, So how long is this process all over? If you want to, let's suppose our company starts want a modular data center. So what sort of integration process takes place between the companies and the provider, service provider?
Like you are a company, you are a research company, so
Yes,
you don't
not a research
manufacture
company. I
anything.
guess. Yeah, research company. I
See,
don't take a research.
normally in modular data centers, the major players, if you see the list also, the major players are OEMs who
Yes.
manufactures all the components themselves. So it becomes much easier and economic for them to integrate it together and sell in the market rather than buying a lot of stuff from the different people and then going, because this is a standard. When you talk about modular, that means you are creating a standard data center module, and if any of the system or component you want to change from one make to another make, there your specifications changes. Okay, so
Right.
that is the reason I have seen couple of players. They are kind of a system integrator also, but they are trying to sell these kind of solutions. That they have got kind of a partnership with OEMs for a specific product. They have integrated, standardized the entire solution, and they are able to sell it.
Okay. Indra, you would like to add?
No, it is correct. He covered everything on that point. Nothing is more.
Okay. So you guys would like to share something. Actually, we would like to listen, but we are running short of time. So Indra, any concluding statement from your side?
Yes, thanks, Aswati. Now, uh, the I'll say the trend in data center in India is again uh, much more multifolded growth is there, and whatever we are looking as of now, the numbers are pretty good. Let us say, as on today, the installed capacity, as I mentioned, we are close to 1 gigawatt. By 2030, definitely will be around 5 gigawatt capacity, and being the best, I think, data center hub for entire Asia. So in that scenario, yes, we have much more larger scope of having these modular and data centers in place. And again, the requirement of addressing the hotspots in data industry, like I'll say, meeting the tier 2 and tier 3 requirements, especially on the internet consumption, where the trend what we have seen now, if you see, as per I think 2023 reports, what I have seen is somewhere around 60 to 75 zettabytes is data is consumed, and by 2030 we are expecting around 200 zettabytes of data is going to be consumed globally. And again, as you said, we are the second largest company in, sorry, country after US to consume or to consume data. So in that scenario, definitely there is a large scope in establishing these edge computing requirements to meet these, I'll say, uncertainties across various tier 2 and tier 3 cities. And that's it from my side. Thank you. Thank you.
NK, any concluding statement?
Yes. So you have captured a very, very good topic. I sincerely thank for that, because future of data center is modularity. Currently, we are talking about smaller data center which is being modular, but days are not far when we are talking about large scale data centers being produced on the manufacturing processes line and delivered on the site and being manufactured, being assembled at site. So, future is the modularity only, because that is the advantage what modularity brings on the table, which others cannot. Scopes are huge. In terms of a small scale data center, they have to keep a watch on the edge front and other three sectors I talked about. On the large scale data centers, people has to really work on in detail, and I am 100% confident that those, I would say, more than 90% of the data center things can be directly manufactured in the factory. So that I'm not saying that. One of the research paper I heard future of data center is all about prefab data centers. So everything is prefabricated. delivered on the site, irrespective of the size and scale. So with that, I would like to thank TechSide for giving us opportunity to share our experience on data center, and it has been very interesting and pleasure to share the knowledge. And I would like to thank audience also who shown confidence, and I hope they found some value in what we shared our experience and knowledge there. Thank you.
So I would also like to thank both of you from TechSci side. Definitely your thoughts have helped us, TechSci and whole audience. It was so nice to have conversation with you both. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you and have a great day. Take care.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Thank you and have
Bye.
a great day.
You too.
Bye.